Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. So, just want to look over the stocks we had yesterday here, see how they held up. So, SMX, it's sold off a bit, still holding at this critical level. Really want to see if this holds today. AHMA, still holding pretty strong. It's good to see. KALA, this one was moving too. Gave back most of the move, but still holding slightly. And QTTB pulled back a bit. It's still holding decently though. So most of the gappers yesterday, like the big movers, are still holding. So that's ideal. Okay, we have FTEL. And we got both the Johns here. Both the Johns, not just one. As far as the scanners go, I'm not seeing anything yet. We'll give it another minute. Yeah, I made a mistake on AHMA that may have put it in play for me yesterday. I didn't realize this, but if you go to the yearly, this is actually a recent IPO, and I didn't realize this, right? We had this blue sky setup. If I had recognized this in real time, then I would have been more inclined to trade it yesterday. Because there was no news, and because this kind of spike seemed random, and I saw that there was 12 million shares, I just assumed that that was making it out of play. But because it was a recent IPO, a lot of those shares were locked up. Plus, we had the blue sky setup, which I didn't identify at the time. So that was a misread by me yesterday. Maybe some missed potential because of this. But it is what it is. I know what I know, so hopefully I won't make the same mistake twice. We haven't had many IPO stocks in play recently, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself here. So we're seeing a pretty big discrepancy on shares outstanding for FTEL. Lightspeed saying 21 million. Thinkorswim saying 2.4 million. Okay. I'm gonna check BAM SEC real quick. See what the actual situation is for this. Okay, yeah, so they've done a lot of offerings within the last month or two. So it might actually just be around 21 million. So I'm going to go with 21 million as the more accurate number here. If that's the case, this doesn't, let's see, 2. Yeah, we definitely have resistance here at around 2. On the daily, at least. Clear resistance at 2. With that said, we have super high volume. And no news on it. No news. Man, these marshmallows are just not melting. What the heck? Okay. I mean, yeah, FTEL is the only stock really in play at the moment. I could try maybe a half-size exposure to it. Good morning, Flip Flop. Yeah, maybe half-size exposure just to test the waters. If it gives a good setup. Because we do have some very nice volume coming in on it. Right? First 1 minute high did resolve. So this is showing some strength. I mean, we've seen in the past it's done spikes. But again, because if I'm assuming the float's higher, then that kind of detracts from the potential significantly. Not only because of the higher float, but because it's underwater pretty heavily. You would expect the people that are bag holders from earlier would be coming in to sell here. The only other thing I would think is, odds are this is a very shorted stock, given its history. So there's a chance that you could see some kind of just minor short squeeze play. Not super high conviction on this, though. Okay, TAOP, I need to check that one out. That was not on my momentum scanner, but it's on my gap scanner. So I want to check that one out. So what does this look like? Okay, so it looks like it moved yesterday then. Got a bit short on MNDR at 240, yeah. If that was the only other thing moving. A lot of selling pressure. Yeah, on FTAL it seems like there's some decent selling pressure. I mean, just on the daily chart, right? And if the float is 21 million, then this is quite extended. Although, to be fair, while there's no news on this today, there was news on it here for a share repurchase program. So you could argue that this is a continuation move. Kind of weird. So they would dilute the stock and then offer a buyback for 3 million. Okay. I mean, sure. But yeah, that actually adds some credibility. If there is actually news driving this, this is like a continuation move. That does add some potential to this. I think I would upgrade this a little bit, just knowing now that this is a continuation play that actually had news driving it. So what happened with MNDR? So okay, this one just kind of bounced around. Yeah. When was this? Did they actually say a date for it? Okay, within the next 24 months. Okay, that's very vague. Over 2 would be a buy. There's a chance, yeah. Like, this definitely has momentum behind it. The catalyst is actually not super strong. 3 million shares when the float's 21 million isn't super huge, considering the daily chart is so scuffed, right? I mean, this was at like 700 a year ago. But on paper, it sounds nice, and it has made a nice move. I'm a bit worried that we might be overextending at this point, because this is quite a big move from the initial move. But maybe shorts are getting squeezed, right? Because this did hold up. I think there's some argument. A clean entry, I would be somewhat okay taking a trade here. All right, we're having a bit of a pullback. We did have this first 1 minute candle to make a high, but it's not really resolving, right? We just kind of came back to this level. So it's kind of like a double tap. That makes me a little less optimistic. On the bright side, this volume has dropped since the initial pops here. Even looking at the level 2, I can tell this spread is a bit thicker. That kind of lines up with the higher float thesis I had. I would want to buy, but this volume's a little bit too high coming in here. Not quite the setup I'm looking for. Welcome everybody here coming in. If you could do me a favor and leave a like on the stream, it would help me get this out to more people. I would appreciate it. Yeah, it seems like we have a slower start to the day. Just FTEL is the only thing really in play. The other stocks from yesterday are holding up nicely. Love to see that, but just not really anything else moving super hard here. Okay, nice reversal here, but it was on lower volume. Could have been a fake out. Yeah, this whole continuation here has been on lower volume than this. So you could argue that it's more of a consolidation pattern. That would be reasonable. Yeah, but buying into this when you were seeing volume increasing, that just feels like it'd be too dangerous. Yeah, good morning, Benjamin. Good morning. See, we're up to 9 likes. I appreciate all you that did that. Does help me out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm mixed. I'm maybe like 60-40, slightly bullish. Right? We have the prior day news catalyst. And we have a nice consolidation pattern here. Low volume on this consolidation. But higher float. Thicker level 2. Maybe overextended because of bag holders. News catalyst isn't super strong. So there's a couple detractors. There's some things going for it, but there's a lot of headwinds too. This definitely isn't an A quality, at least at the moment. Maybe a B quality at best. So we had like a 50,000 share seller here. Not a huge deal because the volume's pretty high. 50,000 will get bought up pretty quick. Yeah, the fact that this, honestly, the fact this moved from 160 to $2, a 40-cent move in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That's impressive given how thick this is being traded. Yeah, unless I see something super clean, I'm probably going to pass on this. Yeah, a lot of pressure at 2. 2 would be the breakout point to watch. Okay, we broke by about 4 cents. Volume picked up a bit. This just looks so thickly traded to me. Really pressuring too. I think I'm going to be a spectator for this, but yeah, I'm definitely curious how this interacts with the $2 level. So we broke through it once, very briefly, and then went back under. One thing to think about too was at this level, we had massive volume and it rejected at 2. So the big seller likely came in at 2. And they've actually been selling this whole time. Don't know how big this seller is, but it seems like there is a pretty big seller at 2. We've had multiple fake outs too. They broke over 2 here, and then that caused the sell-off. Had a break here and just pulled back below it. So a lot of fake outs with 2 as well. Anybody who's breaking up 2 here, if they kept selling on the rejection, they're just getting churned up at the moment. That's crazy. We haven't even been live for half an hour. We're almost at 30 people. That's crazy to me. I'm just looking at FTAL and telling how I don't want to trade it. I appreciate all you guys that are here. Okay, speaking of here, HERE. This one's kind of popping up. Somewhat light volume compared to the regular daily volume. Yeah, no news. There was news at 5 a.m., but like this is popping up only now. Yeah, this is probably out of play for the moment. The volume's just too light. News doesn't seem to match with the price action. I'll keep an eye on it, but it doesn't look quite right. Good morning, football master. Just watching FTAL this morning and explaining why I'm not super interested in it. But yeah, we got 5 minutes till the half hour. We'll see if we get anything decent that pops up. $18 likes. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate that. It's a huge amount of likes this early. Yeah, this just feels like a lot of churn at the moment. If this breaks out, it could run. My issue is it's probably only going to run like 10 cents, maybe 15, 20 cents. This range is very limited. Float's definitely holding it back. Looking at the TAOP breakdown, but no news, and cautious because CN stock. Yeah. I mean, I didn't look at it, but just knowing the tickers, TAOP, I mean, that just screams CN stock. So that's already a bit of an issue. I mean, just looking at the pattern, that kind of put it out of play for me. Right? I would want to see this getting back to 4 before I'm really interested in it. Volume is quite high, though, right? This volume's actually higher than this move. So the fact that it's still up 61% and we're seeing very high volume, I wouldn't rule it out, right? And yeah, Thinkorswim and Lightspeed both saying this is around 1 million. Yeah, this definitely is something maybe to keep an eye on if it returns to highs. Because it's a Chinese stock, I would be more conservative about a rug pull, but the lower float gives me some confidence. Good morning. Good morning, Dang. Nagu Yen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But yeah, this one's interesting. It's just kind of out of play right now because the price hasn't really been reacting very well, right? We had this big rug pull here, another rug pull here, right? By the time I was looking at it at 7 o'clock, it had just done this, so that kind of threw it off for me. But yeah, I think it's good to at least keep an eye on it, right? This is one that it wouldn't be totally unrealistic for this to curl back to 4 within the next hour. Then it would be back in play. Not super likely, but I wouldn't call it impossible. Maybe like a 25% chance that happens. And FTAL just really, really struggling at this $2 level. We do seem to have some kind of uptrend happening, right? You can imagine a trend line here. connecting these 3 points. But yeah, I'm more convinced now it's just moving too slow. Too slow, too thick. Yeah, the only real good opportunity would have either buy this 1 minute high during the initial breakout. But at the time, there was no news, and it was a little bit harder to connect that this was a prior day move. The other opportunity would have been trying to buy this breakdown for this recovery. But again, we were seeing this breakdown happen as the volume was increasing. That just seemed like a bad combination to try to get involved with. We had about 4 or 5 stocks reach over 100% moves intraday yesterday. Possible shift to warmer market. There are signals of noise, of chaos, which you kind of need chaos for a shift. I will admit that, right? The big ones, we had Kayla, we had OTTB, and we had AHMA. SMX is still holding up most of its gains from the initial spike it had multiple days ago. So we have a lot of stocks that are up, and there might be others. That's just what I've recall from pre-market. The big issue that I'm having is a lot of stocks are failing. Now, I got rid of them from my watch list, but I went over this in the recap yesterday. But almost everything that wasn't a 100% mover not only gave back the entire move, but actually sold off, which tells me that shorts are still attacking very aggressively. And if that's the case, it could be the case right now that even though we're seeing these big moves, shorts are still profiting more than losing. And if that's the case, they're just going to keep hammering aggressively. But you are correct. The fact we're seeing multiple moves doing this, like even this is a decent move, it's reassuring that we could be seeing a shift. Therapeutic company put out news at 25. Oh no, resumption. Bit of a higher float. Yeah, 240 looks like resistance or support here. 235 maybe. Yeah, there are signals. Right, like right now, like I said, it's really noisy right now. We're seeing some good moves, but we're also seeing a lot of rejections. So we're having a bit of a mixed signal, which is fine, right? I'd rather see a mixed signal than just pure cold. So this is an improvement over the conditions. It does make it a bit harder to trade, though. This micro pullback worked out pretty well. Would be pretty aggressive to try to get in here, though. Okay, we tapped up here basically 3 times now. It's holding up well. The higher float's throwing me off a little bit. If we pull back to like 240s, that might seem kind of crazy, but I think it's realistic we could see a pullback to 240s. I'd be more interested if that happens. Maybe support here, though. Right, we saw a huge spike when it touched this. Yeah, 270s isn't super clear support on the daily. CAPS also running at 730 here. It's a $1 stock, so I'm probably going to just keep attention on this. Just curious, what's the float on caps? 8 million. I mean, the float is better on caps, but it's a lower price. I should at least check the news on it. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to at least look at it. See if it was anything groundbreaking. Yeah, so we had a clear support here, but on the daily, that didn't really match up well, from what I could tell. FTEL also sold off, yeah, so whoever was selling it to, clearly a very big seller there. I was really hesitant about getting in just because I didn't think the opportunity was that high. This one's holding up well, but the float's throwing me off, and the lack of a clear entry is throwing me off on this one. I wanted it to get to around 250, 240, maybe 235. We just didn't really get that. Right? We ended up bouncing around here. Volume's still quite high, though. So this... It's kind of hard to say. You could interpret this volume in this range in multiple different ways. Okay, this would have been the 1 minute pullback to buy. Decent volume. Very difficult to gauge this. Got short sum at 270. Yeah, I'm really unsure how to rate this. We're seeing consistently high volume. Very difficult to judge. I think there's reason for this to go in either direction. I can't really gauge it properly. All out of MNDR for 30-cent win. Good stuff. It's kind of what I mean, though. A lot of these stocks that are popping are just fading. Shorts are still able to hammer pretty aggressively. If this does break down, if we see 240s, I'm more interested at a bounce play 240s. Right, we got daily support there. Guess the real question is the person that held this up here gonna stay? Or was this just a relief bounce? We're seeing decreasing volume here. Yeah, similar story to FTL. I can tell that the level 2 is somewhat thick here. Alright, I took a snipe here at 43. See if we can recover 50. Okay, I sold half. Want to see if we can break 250. Okay, we broke it by a penny. No, I'm just going to cut it there. Small winner. When it broke 250, it struggled for around 4 or 5 seconds. Yeah, so my initial target was 53. When I saw us struggling to break 50, I figured I'm already up like 7 cents, take some off the table. Then when I saw it finally break 50, was struggling for a little bit. Yeah, so that daily support did end up having a bounce. So that's nice to see. Small little winner. Okay, we got SBEV coming up here. Not a great candle. Also, no news on it. Yeah, I'm going to let this develop a little. We'll go ahead and log this. Dude, flip-flop, it's just all these stocks. I mean, it's tempting sometimes to just want to be a short seller in this market. Like, it's crazy how much value you're getting from just being able to short these stocks. Like, I mean, FTL rolled over, TAOP rolled over. Whatever this one was, JSPR appears to have rolled over. It's crazy the value you're getting. I'm not knocking you, by the way. I'm just saying it's kind of crazy how often these stocks are rolling over. Like, I'm literally having to buy the flushes to get any kind of value play. Volatility was actually kind of, well, no, I'll drop that a little bit. So yeah, this has no news, but it's moving pretty quickly. Florida-based stock. I mean, this went from 140 to 2. Short restricted. So we're seeing volume flood in here, right? Up to 500,000. Considering this is like a 2 million share float, this is actually very high volume. And if you're saying it's short restricted too, that's significant. There's no question that there is more opportunity in shorting this market. Way more predictive to see the backsides of all these small cappers. I agree. It is frustrating being a long bias trader right now. I want to see how this pulls back. This is extremely high volume for this float. I actually want to verify with the filings real quick. Very big flush on this one. I'm actually gonna take a stab at it. 56. This volume was kind of low on this sell-off. Okay, seeing a bit of a buyer step in here. See if it amounts to anything. Sold half, looking for around 170. All right, I'm out there at 167. Or, I got filled at 165. I saw 67 when I clicked it. Okay. So, yeah, seeing how high the volume was here, and then seeing this selling pressure, at the time, this was only around like 100,000 shares, and it dropped all the way to here. Feels like an overreaction. So, yeah. Decent winner. Maybe I cut it too early, because my entry was actually very ideal. So maybe I sold a little too quickly there. Yeah, this thing really ended up rallying back. So again, like somewhere between a small and moderate winner, but it's a bit hard. It's hard in this market. Yeah, no catalyst on this either. I would actually go to say that was probably an A quality setup too. Yeah. Very high volatility. EB is moving. What is this? Oh, a buyout. Okay. I mean, just one look at it tells me it's a buyout. Yeah, it came out at 830. Acquired for 450. We're right at the level. I will go ahead and mark it. Mark it here. Not market. I will mark it. And if we see a retracement to around 420, I would be interested in a arbitrage play. But yeah, for now, this is just completely out of play. Back to SBIV. Yeah, very, very high volume for the float. Very low volume on this sell-off again. This one isn't quite as extended as this move was, though. If we see this extend to like 140s, like maybe 145, I would be interested in a bounce play. but not really seeing anything ideal yet. Much better turnout today for me, at least, compared to yesterday. Yesterday, I was really struggling to read anything. And I'm 2 for 2 today, so accuracy's a little better today. I did cut this a little early. I don't know. I'm just really in a pessimistic state. And I'm sure it's impacting my trading a little bit. Right? Like, even though I had such a great entry on this and this was such a big overextension, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm up like almost 10 cents. I should just cut profit. Like, I'm not really convicted to hold for a long period. If I'm in money, I just kind of want to take it. Even slight hesitation or slight resistance makes me want to just cut the trade. Turns out it was, I mean, it ultimately, like, it looks good in hindsight, but like, if I could have gotten like another 15 cents a share. So kind of regretting the second half of my trade on this. That's how it goes, though. Sometimes you just make mistakes or you don't do it optimally. Yeah, this is certainly still in play, though, right? Like, what was the... Yeah, I mean, we're talking like around 2 million between Thinkorswim, Lightspeed, and we're getting like 500,000 a minute. This is certainly in play. Yeah, I mean, even this, like 500,000 on this. So it looks strong. Good morning, Gabino. Good morning, good morning. We're not playing catch-up compared to yesterday. Yesterday was a borderline red day. I mean, I kind of recovered that red day from the clutches of defeat. So for us to be starting in the green and staying in the green for about the first half of the session, that's certainly a better feeling. Very high volume again. Yeah, there's been no news on this for over a week. This is purely a short squeeze play. I'm going to take a half size for a long breakout here. This is a more aggressive play, so only half size. This is the best setup I've seen so far today for a breakout. So I'm willing to at least attempt it. Only half size, though. Testing the lows, but we're on low volume. This still looks valid. Okay. All right, nice little hit on that. 11 cents, half size. Yeah, I really liked the potential this had. This volume and this setup looked quite strong. The only issue is we've been getting burned on these breakouts, so that's why I took half size. I wanted to kind of give myself some exposure while limiting the risk. Looks like it worked out. Small winner. We got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. We'll see if we see anything come up here. Appreciate all you guys joining the stream here. If anyone hasn't already, if you could leave a like, it would help push me to other people. I would appreciate it. Yeah, we're kind of stair-stepping higher. This was the only real clean setup I saw for a breakout. When I saw I was hesitating around 190s, just not really. I would want this to immediately go to 2. Right? Seeing this kind of price action, any kind of hesitancies just to sell. PLRZ. Okay. Another pop-up here. To 755. Now it's completion of key manufacturing upscale milestone. Okay, looking like low float according to both Thinkorswim or Lightspeed. Very low float. Just gonna check for any offering shenanigans. Okay, yeah, they had a shelf registration a month ago. It's not great to see. And they diluted earlier this year as well. Well, worth at least keeping that in mind. VCIG also popping. I'm going to keep it on a side chart and just focus on PLRZ for now. Yeah, maybe I should at least check it out, huh? Just make sure. Let's see. Awarded $200 million. Consultancy mandate. Okay, so a crypto headline. I want to drop back to SBEV. This one ended up rugging. I guess it makes sense, right? You had VCIG and PLRZ come out. All the attention left this stock. Still think PLRZ has the most, but geez, this thing's been just going. I mean, it's a low float, so I guess. But this thing has just gone straight up. Yeah, VCIG really struggling to make any significant move here. All the attention seems to be on PLRZ. Short at 468. Good luck, man. This thing can really go hard. This is a 1 million share float, if I'm reading this right. If that's true, and we're seeing 400,000 volume. Yeah, the level 2 looks thin. This has room to run really hard. We will see. Scattered attention getting pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, SBEV got detracted, right? Because it was the VCIG and PLRZ. These are both drawing too much attention from SBEV. I would assume VCIG could have done better, but again, this seems like it's just taking the attention. I wanted a bit more of a pullback before getting in here. Looks like I'm getting punished for being conservative. Yeah, it's so rough because like this has the potential to move, and I know this would have been a good spot to buy. But the problem is just with the way stocks have been rolling over, I also feel like buying here near the highs just carries so much risk to it. It's really difficult for me to want to jump in. You'd have to do it with low size and add or something, because the risk is just so high on it. NIVF. Okay, we're getting a lot of stocks moving here. 8 o'clock news. Reports results with balance sheet. Strengthened to 66.50. Okay, yeah, we're having back-to-back news here. This also has only 1 million shares. Okay, this says 4.5 million. Yeah. It's a complete rollover. GIBO. This also has news at 8. Okay, we've had like six stocks or so at the 8 o'clock that moved. Yeah, so a lot of stocks competing for attention here. PLRZ still feels like the best of them. GIBO. This one's kind of like a death spiral. No, yeah, it's actually, it feels very constructive to see the comparison. PLRZ still getting squeezed. Yeah, your best opportunity really was buying a micro pullback, but it's just so extended, right? Like this has gone straight up. What are we up 100? About to be 100%. Yeah, I'm like kicking myself for not buying this pullback. I couldn't do it. There's no way I was punching the trigger. I can't beat myself up over it. Yeah, SBEV looks like it's given back almost the whole move. Not really sure where I would buy. Yeah, around 24. Maybe like high 20s, low 30s. Yeah, buying anything that pops, like, you gotta have, because just all this attention is getting dragged everywhere. Now, it might seem crazy I'm looking at this one, but it's just, this has some potential. It's a little extended. Yeah. PLRZ. The problem is, I can't see a clear entry on this one. right? I'd be buying a micro pullback when it's extended 100%. Very, I mean, okay, 90%, but but like it's very extended. PCIG somewhat curling. I mean, this one's definitely a falling knife concern, right? Like, I could try to buy this micro pullback. Problem is like this thing's extended 80%. I could totally see a world where this goes straight to 5. I could totally see it. Your volume's still quite high on this too. BGLC has popped up on my scanners. We got another mover. All right. Secures 500 million equity. $5.9 to clear support. This would have been the place to buy, I suppose. Yeah, PLRZ could be exhausted. Going to 1/4 size in the event I do trade this. Yeah, like 560s might be a good entry. I'm just looking at the daily. Yeah, so if we see a drop to 560s or 550s. This is very heavy selling pressure, though. That's making me worry. I think I need to take a more conservative entry, like 540s. Just because of this high selling pressure. Because I could have got in here 560s. Right, just seeing both these candles be higher volume red. That's a little bit of a red flag to me. It's popping now. Yeah, I can see PLRZ's pulled back quite a bit more. This could still just be a 1 to 5 minute pullback. I totally am not ruling it is dead yet. Just because it's up so much. Yes, okay. 560s was the correct call here. I was too afraid to pull the trigger because of this red. Yeah, okay, so you had like a 1 minute high that just turned into a flush. This is what's so frustrating too. You get your first clean 1 minute pullback. I mean, I guess you could have done this as well. But we'll call this the second 1 minute pullback that was clean. And then it just flushes on you. Like, that's just really frustrating. It's a fake bump. Could be. All right, this doesn't look pretty, seeing this high volume sell. I would be inclined to say it goes lower. Yeah, BGLC did roll over. I'm actually gonna get in here. 514. This volume was lower. Yeah, this looks like a cleaner entry. Wow. Completely broke through 5. Yeah, I think I just got to try and cut this one. Yeah. So, didn't time the flush good enough. This went lower than I expected. 250 loss on that. Really surprised it went that much down. This one's a lower float, right? Yeah, okay, lower float. So I suppose a overreaction's a bit more understandable. VCIG is moving a lot more here. It's breaking out. Check it in a moment. 4. Look at this, though. Like, look how nasty this rejection has been. Right, and like, this is on lower volume. Yeah, this one got attacked very aggressively. I guess the red flag, too, would have been these two candles were higher volume. That could have been your signal. All right, but this is a lower volume. If this breaks down more, maybe I get involved with it again. Yeah, I mean, if you shorted any of this, you just got instant profit. Still keeping an eye out for a long here. Looking at around 450s. 450s, 440s. Right, we're seeing volume dry up here. If we see a breakdown on lower volume, that could be a buy. Gonna take very small size, though, if I do trade it. The lower float, you can see that the level 2 is also thin. Yeah, so I could have been in here at like 85 at best. It'd be up like 8 cents. Yeah, Safer's waiting for like 430. 440, 430. Even though this volume has dropped, price has also not moved. So this could just be a pause before continued selling. 50s. All right, I'm in there. I'm actually willing to add to that. This looks very... looks like an overreaction. All right, we're out very quickly there. Nice hit. Very nice hit. Yeah, I was waiting to see if this would be an overreaction. Seeing this pop all the way from 490 to 430s with like 25,000 shares of volume, that's a pretty big reaction. Bit more trades today. I mean, we've had more action. PLRZ is pushing highs again. Yeah, I'm going to jump over to that one here. I think I pretty much exhausted BGLC. That was an A setup. Debating if I even say A+. Yeah, I'm going to say that's an A+ setup. That was an incredibly good setup. Where I was even willing to add to it. I was that confident. 8 cents for 42 should have been the average. 56. Oh, out of GLC at 450. That's crazy to me, dude. You held this for like 15 minutes and you made like $1.50 or $2 a share. That's insane to me, dude. I mean, good stuff. Yeah, this thing is completely curled back. Jeez. Yeah, this one's burning anyone short. This one's... All right, wait, what is this? This is like a million shares outstanding or something. I mean, this is saying 16K, but that's just wrong. Yeah, Thinkorswim is saying 1 million. Yeah, so this one is really squeezing hard. We're seeing that mix still. We're seeing some stocks failing hard, and we're also seeing some stocks ripping hard. Your new average is 560s. Yeah, 567. I mean, it's not a bad average. It's just a question of if this thing reverses or not. Right? Because, I mean, to me, trying to short something that's only 1 million shares when it's doing this feels dangerous. I think I'm actually going to downgrade this from A+. Just make it an A. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing complete float rotation every minute. The level 2 is still very thin. This is likely actually a 1 million share float. Real potential here. I'm quite afraid to jump on it, though, if I'm being completely honest. Right, it's so extended. On the daily, we are starting to hit some daily resistance levels, right? 7 to like 770. We're seeing some significant resistance. I'm probably just going to be a spectator for now. Try to get in for the break of 6 too quick. Yeah, I mean, this thing just... while I was filling out the thing, I just saw this thing go straight up. Yeah. It moved very quickly. Yeah, I mean, this is just a mixture of a low float. Shorts are probably getting squeezed here. I'm too afraid to buy at these levels, though. I mean, this thing is so extended. If we give a good setup, because this is a decent looking pullback. Let me think here. I probably want 1/8 size if I am going to trade this. Yeah, if we saw more pullback to like 620s on light volume, I would have considered an entry here. Still not out of play, right? If we see continued selling pressure and we go down to like 620s, 610s, right? I'm looking at this as support. This is support. You bought at 555 and sold at 5. Dude, you made 35 cents. Why are you mad? Like, that's good. Anything that's profit, you gotta be thankful for. I know it's frustrating, though. Right? On my SBEV trade, right? I was kicking myself because I bought here and I sold like halfway into the bounce, and I could have gotten more. But at the end of the day, SBEV ended up rolling over. So I made money when I would have lost money if I just held. So PLRZ, okay, yeah, you bought at 550s and you sold it around like 590s. Okay, you missed this, but are you going to still be mad if this thing ends up going down to like 450? Right? Like, gotta be thankful for what you got. Yeah, as soon as you sold the pullback, it went up to 724. Yeah. I feel it. Okay, so we're seeing a bounce here. This might have just been the opportunity. But I don't want to get too... Oh my god, dude. This is crazy. But yeah, I don't want to get too aggressive on it. I'm at 1/4 size. If I see a clean setup, I'll take it. This certainly still looks strong. But I don't want to force it, right? I don't want to FOMO trade this. Honestly, the fact that I'm up 25 bucks, I'm happy for that. This has been a good session for me so far. Okay, pretty big pullback. This could be the final cover. Your new average is 612. Got a little at those 750s. I'm praying for you, Flip Flop. I am. It does feel like this one's going to be a front or a tough battle to really become profitable on, though. I mean, 612. You're not far. You're not far from being break even. I'm just worried because, like, I know you've been adding, so your size is probably larger now, and like there is a real chance this goes to like 9 or 10. It's on the table. I did say there was resistance. What did I say it was? Yeah, so we have resistance from 7 basically to 810 on the daily. So we're right at that kind of resistance level now. We're still seeing strength, though, in volume, right? 1 million shares a minute. We're still seeing complete float rotation. $7 hold. This is definitely going to 10. Yeah, yeah. I think there is a double-digit % chance this goes to 10. It's testing this 680 is really hard. We've tested it for 3 minutes now. Possible short covering. Right, because why would someone be buying heavily here if not short covering? You're not sure, double rejection here. I mean, I don't know. I just said double-digit chance. I would actually say the fact this is holding is... If this holds, then that tells me somebody is still trying to cover and they're not out. That's my read on the situation. The question is, do I get in here or do I wait a little longer? VCIG has fully capitulated. It's gone all the way back down. Just to bring it up real quick. So yeah, nasty rejection on this one. Complete retracement. Just want to bring it up so we have context of how other stocks are doing. Seems to have cooled down a little bit. We'll see if this is the calm before the storm. $7. I completely agree, Dr. Happy Jones. That's actually exactly what I'm watching. $7 is critical here. I mean, in particular, it seems more accurate might be like 685, 690. Mm-hmm. A breakout into a complete reversal. Looks like a bull trap. 736 down to 670. Hmm. I mean, if this is the top, it is what it is, right? It's already up over 100%. I actually was genuinely thinking this thing was going to run here. Yeah, this 680s, though, this is still holding. We'll see. Yeah, unless this holds, like, the fact that this has come down to roughly where it held, I'm not going to say this is dead. This is definitely bearish. But the fact this did not break tells me maybe there's still shorts covering. Right, we're seeing a battle here. Shorts won this candle. Bulls won these candles, driving it back up. I see noise. I see a fight. I don't see... If this would have just rolled over immediately, I would say shorts were just winning. This shows shorts in control. This shows bulls fighting. CAPT is moving. I want to watch this because I feel like this is more urgent at the moment. Am I the only one that thinks that bulls are still fighting here? Because it feels like it's still holding. The problem is, though, is we're in consolidation, so any buy here, there's a chance I just get churned out. You're long at 678. I don't blame you. There was an argument to go long. And I'm definitely looking at long entries right now. The fact that this thing was ranging so much, like, it had such big movement, and now it's just ranging so hard. Very interesting price action. I'm gonna get in here. I mean, it's 719. Looking for a push to around 770. Yeah, topped twice here. Is there really just that big of a seller that's stopping it? All right, we're out. We got 56. I'll take that. You expect shorts to stop out at 750? I agree with you. Yeah, 750 would be a good stop out level. My issue was that we kept tapping this like 745 multiple times. And I was getting too afraid to hold. $56 isn't even that far from my target. I wanted 70. And we did end up getting 70, so I would have hit target. Also, hidden buy orders. There's some 10,000 orders that were flashing there. Got back in at 7, still holding. Good luck, man. Yeah, Gabino, your entry at 678 is awesome, by the way. I mean, you basically hit the nail on the head if you're still holding this. I got in here because I saw this thing curling, and I thought that the odds of us going back to this and breaking were high. Seeing this test twice after having tested here got me worried that the selling pressure was going to be too high. Still holding half? Good stuff. Good stuff. That's a rough rug here. 780 down. I mean, it's still held at 680s level. Very scary, though, to see it rug that hard. It's still stepping out? Yes, I agree, right? We didn't go to the lows before. Also, this was on lighter volume. At least on this initial pop down, it was on light volume. I did actually think about buying here. I decided not to, but I did think about it. Up 30 bucks on the day. Very solid day for me. I mean, yeah, I'm green on everything I traded, so it's good to see. Yeah, you can see how much risk I was willing to take on this too. Only 12 shares. So I really didn't want to expose myself to this with high volume. We'll see. So the question now is, whenever I saw this was holding, my thesis was that there was a short seller covering here. The price went up, didn't go much higher, and now we're back here. And the question is this short still covering here? Nice green day. Think you're going to call here? Have a good one? Yeah, you have a good one, Ben. Looking forward to that recap, my man. You have your ads planned out for 850, 950, and so on. I mean, we'll see. The one thing I would say you have going for you is this stock is a death spiral stock, right? We had a spike here, and it just sold off. Looking at recent history, well, this one's a little concerning, right? We went from $4 to 14 over the span of like a week. So there is an argument to say we could see a repeat of this. Or not this, where was it? There is an argument to say that historically the stock has... I should do it on this one because you guys can't even see it. Yeah, there is an argument that the stock could perform like this again, where it goes from like $3 and change up to like 15, 14 bucks. And that was over the span of several days. So there is an argument, since this stock has historically done this, that this won't retrace, this will hold, and this will go up to like $14 or $15 over the coming days. Like, there is that argument. So, I mean, you got your thesis, but I'm just saying there is a reasonable argument that the stock could do that. On the flip side, a lot of stocks have given back the entirety of their gains, right? Just to flip through a couple. JSPR gave back everything. SBEV gave back everything. BGLC gave back everything. So, like, a lot of stocks are still giving back everything. Hope you have a bullish December. Yeah, I mean, these first 2 days were really nice. Monday was a bit harder because we had like 2 stocks that moved, but everything else sold off. So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely looking promising. These first 2 days have been very good. All right, today's been even better than yesterday. I haven't been pushing very hard with the aggression. I did a couple, like, prods today, but I haven't really been testing hard. I'm really waiting to see more conviction. An IVF moving fast. I'll check it out. Yeah, we're getting some volume here. I'll check this one out. Yeah, so this had news at 8. We saw this initial pop and then rejection. Now we're seeing series volume coming in. Right, this volume's much higher than this. Let me see. NIBF. Good call out, by the way. Yeah, so I got 1 million here, got 4.5 million. We'll call it about 4 million shares outstanding. Another death spiral stock. Clear resistance at around 570. We're not anywhere near that. Okay. Closer resistance, maybe 230. Okay, we broke that. I mean, maybe 286. Okay, so it looks like 286 might be the resistance on the daily to watch. Past 286, the next real resistance is 340. So you got room to run if this thing does break out. Yeah, this thing's ranging a lot, right? 230 to 270 in a minute. Yeah, I'm going to adjust size to half here. Yeah, we're getting nice volume. Like I said, 286 once this breaks, we've got like 30-40 cents of running room. Does seem like there's a wall at 86 though. Might have just broke. $92 though, actually. There was a bit of a sell wall at around 92, 93. Looks like around 10,000. PLRZ coming back down. NIVF, you're short at 286. I mean, it is resistance, right? It seems like 286 on the daily, but on the level 2, it looked like 293 was a bigger resistance. There does seem to be struggling here, though, right? We kind of just popped up. We tested it once, tested it twice. We are stair-stepping, though. PLRZ did fully recover, so it looks like it could have been another short trap. We'll see. Problem is, I don't really I'm trying to think of where I would want to buy here. I'm not really seeing a great opportunity. Right, because if I buy here, I'm just running straight into resistance. And like waiting for a pullback to like 240s feels like the move just might be over then. Yeah, I'm not really sure where I buy here. Very high volume on this candle. And this was a fun morning. Lots of action. There was a lot of action. We've seen a lot of stocks move today. Yes, this was an impressive morning. Unfortunately, like 80% of them ended up selling off. But I mean, we had a couple big movers, right? PLRZ, pretty big mover. And even before they sold off, we had several stocks go up like 50+% at their peaks. Unfortunately, the hold rate is pretty low, right? Shorts are getting rewarded on most stocks they short right now. Yeah, I'm iffy to buy this. This is a nice pullback, but this volume is very high. (9 a.m.) Then everyone has to move to the Discord to share your end of day results. Yeah, I mean, I got a Discord, guys. Link in the description. I'll go ahead and post it in chat here real quick. But yeah, I do have a Discord, so if there's anyone here that wants to check out the Discord, feel free to join. We got RYOJ moving. Volume's not super high. This was an 8:30 news catalyst, and it just, okay, it started around 8:30. I didn't pick it up until just now. What does the float look like? Okay, 0 tells me nothing. Okay, 11 million according to Thinkorswim. It's a little bit high. Yeah, that's a little high. This volume's quite light. I mean, this is a nice move, don't get me wrong. 460 to 540. I'm just not sure how much I trusted on such light volume. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, the only thing I'd really feel comfortable doing is buying a knife down to like 450s. And it'd have to be on super low, right? Because this is 10,000. We're in the 10,000s here. It'd have to be like on 2,000 volume. We dropped to like 450. The odds of that, I feel, are pretty low. NIVF, looks like we're selling off more on it. It did go to that 240 level I was talking about. I don't really know if I want to buy here, though. Problem is this volume is just so high on this selling pressure, and it's very consistent, right? This looks methodical. Yeah, I don't know how much I trust this to bounce. All right, we have had 8 minutes of selling pressure, but I don't know. I just, this might have been the place to buy. I just didn't trust it. I just thought this was too much selling pressure. PLRZ made a new high, if you can believe it. So impressive what the stock has been able to do. Still only in PLRZ for now. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hop back over to RYOJ real quick because we could be rolling over. I'm looking for like 440s, man. I need something cleaner. I would take 32 here. Yeah, there was opportunity. If I could have gotten filled at 30s, right, this would have worked. I don't know if I get in here a second time, though. I'm looking, honestly, like 410s. Yeah, this volume's increasing. This is dangerous to try and get in a second attempt. Yeah, this needs like 410s to really be safe. Okay, big buyer did step in here. 10,000 share buyer. These orders are quite large relative to the volume, right? Seeing 10,000 share buyers and sellers when you're seeing 20,000 volume per minute, that's actually quite high level too. Orders. I tried to put an order out, 430s, went to a low of 430, didn't get filled. Was only half size too. Yeah, I think trying to buy at 430 if it goes back is too dangerous. If I'm being honest, if I'm really being honest, I think at this point I would probably need to see like 390s or 4. PLRZ, still kind of ranging. Go ahead and jump back to this real quick. Yeah, I think with us 3 minutes to the top of the hour, I'm not going to jump on this. Pretty nasty rejection here. I mean, technically, we're still stair-stepping, right? We are still stair-stepping. Yeah, the volume on this candle wasn't super high relative to this, right? You're seeing very high volume on the move up. This volume was a bit lower. All right, comparing this volume to this. It is quite scary though, right? A clear attempt at a 1 minute high. You could say this was the 1 minute high and then it just rolled over. So anyone trying to buy the 1 minute high here has been burned. RIOJ, just to jump back here, we did see this thing break down to 410s. I'm actually going to go ahead and throw out an order at 396. If we see that sudden breakdown. We'll see if we get it. We're 404. Did get filled at 396. Yeah, I was even thinking about moving it down a little bit too. See if we break above 4 again here or not. Have an order at 413. Okay, so we got 411. Nice little bounce play on that one. 750 on that. Okay, we got our first spammer. Let's go. How do I ban people? Alrighty. Let's see. I can see timeout, but how do I ban? Okay, cool. Nice little spammer. Yeah, we'll see if anything else comes up here. Trying to figure out how the Discord works. Just joined. I mean, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm fine to answer them here or on the Discord. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy. I'm mostly just doing it to show results and just a general spot where we can chat. I know there's some people that trade during the day too, and they post there, so you can see them. Yeah, by the way, you guys, you're totally free to post your results in the results area. Like, I post mine with the spreadsheets occasionally. But yeah, by all means, you guys are free to post your results there too. It's not limited to just me. If it is, then let me know and I could fix it. The only thing I've really tried to keep limited to me was the like strategy development area. Nice channel, you're new to this, so learning how you play the game. I have a very weird style. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Ross Cameron, but he was one of the most influential people that I've had to learn from. I couldn't become profitable with his strategy, but I kind of morphed it a little bit. If any of you watched Ross Cameron, you know that, like, I'm trading similar to him, but I'm definitely a lot more conservative. I don't really trade as aggressive. Like, today was an amazing day. If this is your first time here, don't assume that this is typical for me, because I don't usually do this well. This was a very good day, right? Just looking at my metrics. Like, this is very, very high accuracy, 6-1. So, very nice day today. Only one trade, and it was a small loser. But yeah, this is not super typical. You can look at my channel, because I post every day's results. I do daily recaps. So, you can kind of see my results on the channel. But yeah, this is day 30 of this account challenge. All right, so we have SGMO moving, but it's a penny stock, so I'm not really interested. Yeah, I might call it here. We've been 5 minutes since the top of the hour, and I'm not really seeing anything. No, this was a great day. I'm super happy with how I did today, right? Trying to think. The only real regret maybe I would have was that I didn't participate in the front side of this PLRZ move. I was feeling very FOMO to chase it, right? We didn't have very clean pullbacks. This was the first actual pullback. And I didn't really want to buy near these highs, right? Because the stock was already up like 80% or something. And I just getting in when it's up 80% with no pullback just feels so aggressive for this cold market. Where does everyone post their results in the Discord? I have a profit and loss tab. You can see I post my spreadsheets in that tab, so you can just look for the one that has that. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. Really nice day today, 37 bucks. Very nice green day. I'll go ahead and make the recap. Just real quick, I want to mention this because I think it's important. We did have stocks like PLRZ that made a nice move today. Unfortunately, though, I am still somewhat pessimistic that we are entering a hot market yet. And the reason is just because a lot of the stocks we've seen have sold off entirely. Just to run through some. NIVF. Hey, I actually called this one out too. Remember I said how I didn't want to buy this for a curl because this looked like distributed selling, hype, pressure, and it looks like it just kept going lower. So it looks like I was right on that. But yeah, NIVF ended up rolling over. Caps rolled over. This one rolled over. This one rolled over. This one kind of held up. So we're seeing about maybe a 50 to 60% failure rate. I'd say closer to 60% failure rate. And we're not really seeing many of the stocks holding like this. But yeah, I'm definitely optimistic that we are pivoting. We've gone from cold market to slightly warm with a few hot sparks and a lot of noise. So that's something I'm going to be watching very, very closely to see if we start to see stocks holding better. We've had big movers like this 3 days in a row now. So that is reassuring. And if this keeps happening, and if they keep holding, then shorts are going to start to feel more pain. Right? Anyone who was short this probably felt pain today. Unless they shorted like everything that moved, then maybe they're break even. But that's just my interpretation. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys all liked the live stream. I do stream every day from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. EST. So if you're interested